Welcome to my YouTube channel. Recently, I got an opportunity to work on a Cloudflare. So I thought the same to share with you people. One of the common requirements to access our internal services from our desktop. There are multiple ways that can be done. So the famous way is using VPN. And recently, the Cloudflare tunnel with the Cloudflare WARP client getting a famous. And the one of the big drawback with the VPN model, still it needs the internet IP for the ingress. Whereas in Cloudflare tunnel, it's working on an egress model without a ingress public IP. So with that, let's see how we're going to achieve this. So this is V. So we have to connect the services that is running on them inside a Google Cloud, the internal services. So this is our setup. So we have to set up the Cloudflare WARP client and we have to set up the tunnel. So I'm using Google Cloud, but this model can be applicable to on-premise as well as any public cloud. So these are the steps we have to do. So we'll go one by one. So if you see here, so this is my project ID, then region, then zone, this is my network name, this is my subnet name, and this is the instance name I'm using, and this is the IP range for that subnet. So let's import this stuff. Let me go here and show. So currently I don't have any VPC. So let's set the project first. Then create a VPC. So VPC got created. Then create a subnet. Then this subnet is for the load balancer proxy. Got created now. Next one is the firewall rules. So the mainly for ICMP and the SSH. So if I refresh now, so you can see it got two. So one is on here and another one is on the proxy. So this firewall is to access internally all our services. This is for SSH and ICMP. And this is for the services, one of our backend service that we're gonna bring up on port 80. So next we have to create the NAT gateway. So the NAT gateway is to access the internet for downloading the Docker images and to install a Docker. So if I go here, firewall, so we created 3 firewalls. Let's do a refresh. So we can see the 3 firewalls got created. Then let's go to NAT. Let's see, do we have any NAT? So cloud NAT. So no. Then so first we have to create the router. Then we have to create the NAT. Okay. So let's refresh now. So we can see the NAT is created and running. Let's create one server and ensure be able to access the internet. Let me go here, go to VM instance. So it's coming up. So we're launching the instance without the external IP. That is our aim. Let's SSH here. So this is the way we have to SSH. Okay, I think this problem I know. Let's go to security. Identity. So identity aware proxy. Let's go here. So because for the IAP tunnel it's needed. Okay, looks fine, I think. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay, now let's check the internet access ping 888. Yeah, so it's working. Then so we have to create the instance group. This is for our load balancer. So this is the unmanaged instance group. So we have to update the instance group. So we are updating the instance group with the one we created earlier. If I go to the instance group now, instance group, let's do a refresh. You can see with the one instance. So now we have to create the load balancer. So let's create a health check first. Then create the backend services. Let me copy properly. So got created, and here then front-end service. Let's go here, the load balancer part, load balancing. Okay. So we done our initial setup. If I go here, so we done till the load balancer. Now it's the time to configure the Cloudflare tunnel. So let's log in into Cloudflare login. I don't register with any public domains, that's why I don't see anything here. So our focus is on the zero trust where it has the tunnels. Under access, we can see tunnels. So currently there is no tunnel. So let's create one. So we can see GCP internal demo. So save this tunnel. Go to Dockers because we're gonna run as a Docker. We have to run a Cloudflare D agent. So for that, we're going to run as a Docker image. So take a note of this Docker one. And then click next here. So in our case, we are not using any public host name. So it's a private network. And we have to give our subnet here. So our subnet is, so we create a subnet with this one. Save this tunnel. So now the tunnel is inactive as per our documentation. So first we have to configure the device enrollment permissions. So we have to go settings here, under settings. First we have to configure authentication as well. So already configured with the one-time PIN. So if you click on add new, so we can select either one. So the simplest one is the one-time PIN where the PIN will be sent to our mail IDs. So then go to wrap client. So this is the device enrollment permissions. Go to manage. So click on add role. So we can say wrap login. So we're going to do the authentication based on the login methods. So we are selecting this one. So save now. The next one, we have to update our tunnels. Go back. This is the default profile. If I go default profile, then go to configure. So we can leave the settings as it is. So here we have to ensure that the split tunnels, for the split tunnels, so select the include IPs and domains here. So click manage. So this one I already, so this is some default things that we have to trust. So now here we have to give our subnet. So this is our subnet. So this is our internal subnet that we're going to test. So we can say, so our subnet name, so for the better understanding, so our subnet name is the internal subnet 1. So save the destination. I think that's it on the Cloudflare side. So now we have to install the Cloudflare wrap. So the Cloudflare wrap can be installed from here on your desktop. So if you go, so based on our OS, so it's a very straightforward installation. So once we done the installation, you can see the logo here. So currently, and if I go to here, preferences, under account, so I didn't log in yet. So you can do a login like this. So login Cloudflare Zero Trust. So one more thing, so opening a Cloudflare account is free, and it's straightforward as well. So here it is asking the team name. The team name is nothing but mostly when you do a registration of the Cloudflare login first time, so it will prompt for your team name. So by the time I gave this name, so let me use that. Accept. So recently I logged in, so that's why it's not prompting for the one-time pin login. Otherwise it will ask for you to enter the pin. So the pin will be sent to your email during your registration of the account. So for now we are okay. So let's click on open Cloudflare app. So I think we are done. And now if you see here, go to preferences, go to advanced, you can see the settings now. So there is a split tunnel. If you remember, we update our internal subnet that we can see now. So now let's launch the one instance and run some service, some Nginx Docker container. So we have to prepare a sample Docker image like this. So you can see this is the configuration file. So in that configuration file, we have to say, so enable wrap routing. Now accordingly, we have to rebuild our Docker image. So I already prepared that Docker image and I already pushed to the Docker hub. So we can use this image. So it's a public image. So it's not necessary for you to rebuild this Docker image. So if you remember, this is the token I was saying. So we have to update the token. So we have to get a token from here. If you go here, if you go to access, then tunnels, if you click here, for you under Docker, you can see the token. So let's update the token now. I already copied. Let me paste here. Let's delete the instance and recreate with the Cloudflare the agent. So I'm deleting our existing instance. So now go to here under VMs. Okay, I think it's still doing the deletion part. Okay, it got deleted. So now let's export this token first. Export this token. then run this command. So this command will launch that Cloudflare D agent. Let's do a refresh. Okay. Now let's do SSH here. I think whenever it launches, it's taking some time. Let's see now. Okay, now I think the one more Nginx as well, it is running now. Okay, it's both running now. This is our Cloudflare D and this is the Nginx service. So if you remember, actually our load balancer is pointing to this Nginx service. So if you go through our configuration, you will understand easily. Now go to our load balancers, network services, load balancing. If I do curl this one, actually it is not reaching. So let me enable our wrap. Okay, the wrap is connected. Let's try now. Okay, I think that the problem with our backend services, I think I forgot to execute the one more command, the below command, because ours is the unmanaged instance group. So we have to update our instance group manually. It got updated. Let's try now. Okay, here you go. So we are able to use our internal service. So let's disable and try now. So it's not reaching, and enable back and try. It's working. So this is our internal load balancer, but still we are able to access from our desktop. So yeah, it's a pretty cool. Okay, now we are able to reach our internal IP. So what about the domain names? So let's assign some domain name to our internal load balancer and try to access. So go to here, then cloud DNS. So I don't have any DNS stuff here. Let's create that first. Okay, zones got created. Then in this we have to use our load balancer IP. So I think the load balancer IP is this one. So I can use the same. I'm creating the year record for our load balancer. So if you think what will happen now, So we are able to reach our internal DNS name as well. In case if it is not reaching as well, so one more configuration we have to do actually. If you go to settings, go to default profile, then the callback. So I already added this callback step. Let's remove this one. If you try now, so it will not work. So we have to give our zone name, then we have to give our gateway IP. So this is our gateway IP. This gateway IP you can get it from our VPC. So if you go here and then the network, VPC network, and then you can see the gateway. So this one, this is the gateway IP, and we have to save. We can say internal might be we can give our VPC name that will be appropriate. The VPC name, the network. Okay, here you go. Okay, and you can see the same settings in Cloudflare WARP as well. Advanced callback domain. So you can see just we updated with the internal VPC one. So let's try now. Yeah, it's working now. Then let's create our one more DNS name. Let's see, for the same load balancer I'm creating one more DNS name. Okay, let's try with this one. Yeah, here we go. So if you create a n number of subdomains, this all will be reachable now. So you no need to do any more configurations on the Cloudflare side. So it's mostly per VPC. We have to run one Cloudflare D agent and we have to repeat the same thing. So as long as if we have n number of VPCs, then we have to run n number of Cloudflare D. So yeah, that's it for the demo. So hope you learned something new. Probably during my next video, I will write a Terraform code for this one. We can spin up within Terraform itself. Let's see in the future again. Thank you.